Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello, crypto friends. Hope you're doing well. We're going to look at everything ever. And we're going to start with Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to look at BCH because I traded BCH yesterday for the first time in 5 months, and that went very well. I'll go over my trades from yesterday into today after we wrap up the initial analysis. But day traders or swing traders' perspective to start it off is we are looking at a higher low pattern on the daily time frame. As anticipated, that higher low pattern is holding, just barely, but it held. So a higher low, we have our bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame forming. We are more confident because our 4-hour lower highs have broken. So while we are not convinced in the 4-hour trend change, the odds of it are more likely because we broke the lower highs. Now we need a higher low and a higher high. So this is the sign that the bulls are looking for a bounce to take place. A couple days ago, I pointed out the potential of what I feel is the most likely way that we will see a daily reversal for the bears is a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. This would be our right neckline now. And if we bounce and see a couple days of green and then top out and head back down towards 8,960 support, that would be the potential for that pattern to confirm itself. I was looking at this pattern way in advance. Again, I wasn't acting on it. To a certain degree, I was acting on the anticipation of a daily higher low forming, which made me a little bit more aggressive on my entries. But other than that, that pattern, again, it's not something I do where I point it out that early to everybody. It just stood out visually for me. So we're going to keep track of that and see if that's how it ends up playing out into this weekend, because that's not going to happen in the next couple of days. So Bitcoin, there's our daily. Ethereum daily time frame. We already had a higher low. We didn't break it. Now we have another higher low to be watching, and we'll see if the bulls can follow through on the 4-hour there. We'll look at the 4-hour in just a moment on these charts. BCH, higher low looking to be formed here. Low of the pullback today, bullish reversal candlestick. And Litecoin, big bullish reversal candlestick, long lower wick, higher low on the daily time frame established. So a lot of people were talking about the bearish reversal 3 black crows pattern. And yes, this is a pattern to be aware of and keep an eye on. But if you're going to exit a position after already seeing 3 big red days in a row, you're behind the ball, and we're going to see a 4-hour oversold bounce in the near-term future. So that's not the kind of pattern you want to react on. Same thing as the death cross. The death cross we could see coming a mile away. It didn't have any effect on anything. These are honestly the kind of patterns, and you see them passed around on Twitter, where it's really people that are newer to technical analysis, and that's fine. But these patterns are new to them, and so everybody shares it and say, "Oh, look at this thing," and does this have validity? And then it starts gaining traction and everybody posts it. And of course, now we're going to see, in my opinion, a couple day green bounce right when we have 3 black crows in a row. So it's definitely something you want to be aware of and not get too sucked into in terms of what everybody on Twitter is posting about. Speaking of which, it is such a pet peeve of mine, these absurd calls for gains. I mean, it doesn't help this crypto space, and it's obvious why people are doing it. If I were to put titles, if I were to say, Bitcoin heading to 20,000, 2018, here's why. If I made that my thumbnail and the title of my video, I would without a doubt get more than 10% more views on every single one of my videos. And people do it for that reason. It's clickbait, but it doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't help this space. I don't even know the dude's name, but the guy who's calling for Bitcoin to potentially go 70% during consensus, it's just like, that is just, if you've been watching Bitcoin trade at all for the last 5 months, that is not feasible at all without huge news. It's just not possible to happen unless some kind of bomb drops with Bitcoin news for it to explode to the upside. So speaking of which, let's talk about consensus, because consensus is next week, I believe Sunday through Wednesday, something along those lines. If consensus was not happening, I would be pretty confident in a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. I would be confident in that because of the weekly lower high that needs to form to tighten up and remain in this equilibrium pattern. Because of consensus being, let's see, what do we got? Another 4 trading days at least. There's the potential that could lead to continuation. So let's go over the 3 scenarios of where we currently stand. The 3 scenarios of this daily chart are we bounce and see continuation to higher highs by breaking 10,000. we bounce, we set our lower high and our lower low, and our bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern that I've been pointing out follows through. Or we bounce, we set a lower high, we pull back and set a higher low, and then we watch an equilibrium play out. So I think the most likely scenario is a bearish head and shoulders pattern. Consensus and any news that comes out during consensus could absolutely throw that plan into the wind and see a bullish reaction. Has to be new news. So let's talk about psychology and consensus. The psychology of what happens when you have an event like this coming up. Again, the date is known. You see a run up. You see bullish news starting to get priced in to a certain degree because, again, the market doesn't know what the bullish news is going to be. They're just saying, hey, it's a conference. This would be a great time for some bullish news to be released, and there's going to be hype and everybody's going to hear about it. So everybody buys in anticipation of consensus. The way that consensus is going to play out with regards to price action on these names is if we get surprise news that is bullish and more bullish than the market is expecting, we're going to break out. If we get news that's pretty good, but the market's been pricing it in, then we're going to trade sideways and see some profit taking. And if we get no news, we're going to sell off and see a sell the news event. In my opinion, the most likely scenario is a sell the news event, again, because we've been running into consensus. Even back last year when the market was going crazy, Ethereum was a sell the news event into consensus. And it was a very brief sell the news event. But again, this was one of my first trades that I made in cryptocurrency where I played this sell the news. I saw the run up. I know how the stock market world sells the news. And let's see, it was May. It was right here where we topped out at $99. Remember those days? And we pulled back to $75. So that's a 25% pullback on a sell the news event. And then after reloading, it exploded to the upside. So that is how I'm anticipating this situation to play out. What are the odds? What's most likely to happen? Sell the news, bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern, and weekly lower high is set. If there's surprise bullish news that surprises the market, we can absolutely break 10,000 and see continuation. So we're getting all these signs, all these little news events that are bullish for the space and for institutional traders, and more trading desks going to be opened up, and the NYSE may be getting into Bitcoin, and institutional investors. I don't know if you watch Nuggets News Australia there with Alex, which you should because he's got some good insight. But he's talking about people reaching out to him for OTC orders. I gotta fix my Ethereum chart here. For OTC orders for 300,000 Bitcoin, which is $3 billion worth or something. So there's definitely large demand out there, and that's not necessarily going to follow through in terms of that trade actually happening. It could just be positioning or posturing, but either way, we know there's bulls in this space. We're just watching this equilibrium pattern. I cannot stress enough how clear this equilibrium pattern is going to be. I want to see a pullback right now. And why I want to see a pullback? Because it will give us a really tight range rather than just seeing a bull move right from here to 11,700 and the bulls being really exhausted after 2 months of upside. We're going to be looking ideally for consolidation, cool things off, reestablish a new base of support, and then a bull break to see a bullish second half of the year. That's what my ideal scenario would be in this situation. So let's now zoom into the shorter term time frames. 4-hour chart, bearish reversal candlestick just formed. So we did break the lower high pattern, which is a good sign. My trading view is lagging bad right now. But we've got a lower high pattern breaking, which is a good sign for the bulls. So that increases the chances that our daily higher low has formed. I'm not convinced it has formed until we see consolidation, a higher low established on the 4-hour. Ideally, if the bulls could hold 9,150, that would be the best case scenario. And then we see bullish continuation. And if we get that 4-hour higher low and higher high, then we're definitely formed our higher low on the daily time frame. And we're going to be looking for some follow through back into the upper $9,000 range. So where we stand right now, I'm all cash after taking profit. I'll go over that in just a moment, but healthy consolidation going on. Hourly bull cross of these exponential 12 and 26 period moving averages for the first time since consolidation started. That is notable, and we're going to be looking for the bulls to hold it. So actually, I take that back. I just said 9,150 would be ideal. Ideal world would be 4-hour consolidation, holding these hourly exponential moving averages and not breaking below 9,200 really, because that would show a lot of strength, and that would give us essentially a 4-hour little bull flag. Very brief consolidation and then continuation. Don't lose sight of this 4-hour bull MACD cross. It's ready and waiting to go, and we do need some follow through from those bulls and continuation to see that bull MACD cross follow through. So everybody is breaking their lower highs except for Litecoin, which we'll see in just a moment. So here is Ethereum's bullish reversal candlestick 4-hour time frame, the lower highs have broken. So here's an equilibrium that was forming to a certain degree, low, high at the bounce. And then we did see a little lower high and lower low there, but we established a support level that held the previous support, and then we broke the lower high. So again, now that we've broken the lower highs, we need a higher low and then a higher high to see confirmation and follow through. Ethereum is definitely stronger than Bitcoin and Litecoin right now, and BCH is the lead. And we had a member here who pointed that out this morning or this afternoon. Let's see, he did this 2.5 hours ago. Here's the data from the bounce, the low of last night. And if you put in $9,000, these are the profits. Bitcoin 336 is the weakest, Litecoin slightly better, Ethereum better, and of course BCH no matching the gains that BCH saw, which is conveniently timed for me with my first trade in BCH in 5 months. I'll go over why I did that and what stood out to me as to why I did get into BCH. So where are we standing? Again, hourly consolidation for Ethereum. We're looking for the bulls to maintain exponential moving averages as support. And currently, very brief consolidation. Bulls trying to see follow through very quickly, and we'll see if they can keep that up. Again, Ethereum is the strongest of the big three. Only BCH is stronger out of the big four, and that's just with regards to what's trading on Coinbase. So bullish reversal candlestick on BCH daily time frame. 4-hour chart broke the lower highs, and we're now looking for, again, same thing as everything else, higher low and then higher high. I am not comfortable with bullish entries up at these levels. I don't care that we just saw brief hourly consolidation. It is a potential hourly bull flag, absolutely. We could see continuation, but it's just the risk to reward scenario, knowing that this 4-hour time frame has been bouncing the entire day. And again, knowing that 4-hour consolidation is not going to be too far away from where we currently stand. So hourly bull flags are trying to be confirmed. If they do confirm and we head to a higher high, I would not be buying a bull break of our current tops where we stand. Litecoin, bullish reversal candlestick on the daily. The difference between Litecoin is the 4-hour time frame has not broken the lower highs. Again, another scenario where it is clearly the weakest name. And the lower high I'm looking at is 163.23. Again, we need a higher low and a higher high and a 4-hour bull MACD cross to be confident that the Litecoin bulls are turning things around. Hourly chart, trying to hold these exponential moving averages and see them cross bullish. They still have not done that. And if we lose the hourly higher low pattern, that's when we're confident that our 4-hour consolidation is coming. So BCH would have to break 1608. Ethereum would have to see a break of 745.40. And Bitcoin would have to see a break of 9,266. So the low of this little consolidation needs to hold for the rest of tonight if we're not going to see 4-hour consolidation. If they break, then 4-hour consolidation is happening. So what were the trades that I made last night? I got into Ethereum and BCH, which is nice that they were the two lead horses on this bounce. So why I entered, again, it's the overall initial mindset of looking for a daily higher low to form. So every time we drop to a lower low, I was looking to enter, and I was looking to establish positions, trying to get the bottom for when that daily higher low forms. So when Ethereum, or let's see, actually, Bitcoin dropped down to a lower low, and it got its climax flush below 9,000 psychological resistance. It was another scenario where we broke key support, and the pullback was not significant below that level. RSI on the 30 just touched, RSI on the hourly just touched 30. RSI on the 4-hour time frame was just touching 30 down at that bottom. And again, when you have 4-hour and hourly RSI oversold on a position that is approaching the daily higher low support by just over $100, I mean, that's an ideal trade scenario. Oversold conditions, key support for the bulls to show up, or for the bulls to hold, and the bulls show up and see that oversold bounce. And again, the lack of follow through for the bears after the break of 9,000 was another indication to be looking for the bulls to show up. So as soon as we broke 9,000, I was scaling into Ethereum. I got orders filled at 720. I already had an initial position at 720. I got filled at 715.10, 711.10, 707.10. Actually, not that last one. I did have a couple orders that did not fill, but I was up all night, not all night, but I was up late and sitting here just maneuvering my orders, and my eyes were getting really heavy. And it was the kind of scenario where I was like, all right, I know that I want to be in a position before I go to bed for the potential of this bounce being the daily higher low. And I was just maneuvering all of my bids to get the best fills. So I did get some good fills on ETH. My average ended up being about 720 or so. And I exited, again, just scaled out maybe 20% at a time and took my last profit at 755 or 754.90. So pretty much right where we are right now. So I'm certainly not experiencing any FOMO of wanting to rush back in. BCH, why did I choose BCH? Well, first off, I knew the daily time frame was the exact same as all the other names in the sense that the daily higher low was going to form because the previous daily higher low was all the way down at 1237. So there was very little chance that we were just going to dump and break those supports. So I knew the daily setup was very similar to Litecoin and Ethereum in terms of the consolidation on the daily. And then I looked and saw it was more beat up on the hourly than anybody else. And this is, again, members were pointing out how beat up it was. And that's the only reason I looked to play it, was having other team members with other eyes looking around at things and pointing this out to me and to everybody. But I started scaling in. I got 1476 and 1470 as my fills. And then again, the hourly RSI at this point at the low of this candlestick was down around 20. The 4-hour RSI was very low in the low 30s as well, same as Bitcoin. And it was just a scenario where I don't play BCH because it's illiquid compared to the other names. It's kind of like Litecoin in the sense that it's hard to scale in and out of positions. I would never want to market buy order on BCH on a bull break. But on oversold dumps, liquidity is not an issue because I'm buying into weakness, meaning people are dumping into my fills. So it's much easier to get filled in that scenario. And I'm going to be much more open-minded now on BCH and be playing some oversold bounces because of that fact. And because the gains are much more significant, I got way more profit on this BCH trade than I ever anticipated I would. And that was a pleasant surprise to have a day maker of a trade where I had a smaller position in BCH than ETH and had ended up getting more profits in BCH. So this, again, same thing. I scaled out here. I probably scaled out in 10% positions where I just took a little bit in the upper 1490s for my initial profit to protect in case we did drop down to lower lows. Then I took some in the 1520s, then in the 1570s, and my last ones I was taking up in the 1650s, 1660s. So definitely went very well. And again, the reason I was taking profit is just knowing that the hourly chart is overextended, knowing that the 4-hour chart is going to have to form a higher low sooner rather than later, and not being greedy, locking in that profit, starting with a fresh, clean slate, and taking it from there. And it's the kind of thing where, you know, if you have a bunch of losses in a row, you definitely want to clear your mind, stop trading for a while, break that streak, and do something to break that streak. Take a day or two off, you know, go for a walk, do whatever you need to do to clear your mind. I do the exact same thing on a win streak as well. And I've been really in the zone with cryptocurrency the last 5 weeks. It's felt really good, and I've been making some really good trades personally. But it's the kind of thing where you can't get too comfortable and get too egotistical and think, I can do this in my sleep and just push buttons and make money appear out of thin air. You have to be doing the exact same thing. So I do the same things if I'm on a win streak than if I'm on a losing streak, in the sense I'm not going to stop trading for a couple days. I'm going to keep the momentum going. But psychologically, I'm going to clear my mind, and I'm going to take every single day as a fresh, clean slate and not let the win from yesterday carry over and influence my decision and make me, you know, either more aggressive or more cocky with my entry. And that's an important thing to keep in mind as well, because, you know, it's something that comes to mind is something my grandfather used to say when we would watch football. He would say, you know, when you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before. And it's the same thing with being a successful trader. Not only do you not want your ego to get out of control, but you want to act like it's the routine. And hopefully it does get to become the routine where you're pounding out consistent trades and consistent gains day after day and week after week. So it becomes the norm, and you establish a routine that allows for that to continue without affecting your game plan. You want it to be the same one day to the next. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you all continue to do good things. Don't forget to do good things for yourself as well. We got Mother's Day approaching, so all the moms will be getting their good things that they deserve this coming weekend. But in terms of taking care of yourself, today I'm going to get a massage. Looking forward to it. That's definitely an expense that I can easily write off to keep my body from breaking down while doing this day after day. But it's important to treat yourself and enjoy life. So go buy yourself a taco. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.